record before I forget. Friday Night Live Zoom, July 9th, 2021. And away we go. Somebody sent in some questions. She can't make it today, so let me address those questions. From Christina. Um, Here are my questions for Facebook Live Friday. I will be grateful if you can answer some or all of them, whatever feels right for you in the moment. I will try to catch up live as soon as it can. Thank you for your time, support, and amazing work you are doing. Awesome. You're welcome. First question. After 7 days of water fasting, I have been experiencing kidney pain. Can it be part of detox and signs showing I need to support my kidneys better while detoxing? Well, first of all, we don't drink water or advocate drinking water or advocate water fasting in the realm of MFS. But to give you a general question about fasting, when you go into a fasting state, water fasting is a mimic fast. The only true fast is a dry fast. When you go into a fasting state, what starts happening, because we stop digestion for the most part, all weaknesses will come to the surface because the body is finally able to start doing some work where it can't do it when we are eating, when there is digestion. Day after day after day, the body cannot do specific things like um, going back to blueprint, as we say. The, when we get ourselves into um, a fasting state for a while, the body goes into a place where the soul works in autopilot. And that's where all the real magic starts happening. Because, as we say, only the body can feed, hydrate, purge, build, balance, and heal itself through soul from source. And once you understand that, get an understanding of that sentence, things will start changing. Um, can it be part of detox? Showing sign needs support my kidneys better while detoxing. Well, this is why we are so adamant about support and using tools. Simple thing like the herbal support, which works on the emotional level. Um, One sec here. It works on the emotional level. And since everything comes through the fields on the intent and emotion, that's the best place to do your work, right? From soul, through soul from source. And using herbal support, the the highly elevated souls, the plants, the herbs, they work directly with the soul, just exchanging information. So the soul can be guided um, to do what's needed to be done in matter state. So supporting the kidneys is very, very important and highly recommended, especially in today's toxic um, woman, women and men. Um, when I started 3+ decades ago, I was in a very toxic state. And I can't even imagine how much more toxic we are today as a whole in humanity, especially living in big major cities, and people that are eating corporate foods, meaning they're not real foods. They're made by a corporation. If it doesn't come from a plant, um, you most likely should not be consuming it, right? So yeah, support the kidneys, burn stick, massaging the kidneys every day, skin brushing twice a day, morning and evening. These things are going to really uh, help us when we're in a fasting state. So as I said, we don't suggest drinking any water unless you're a very obstructive eater and you're not fasting, then you're going to need some water because you're going to need that fluid, that extra fluid to help dilute the obstructions, so because of all the inflammation that comes from that. And that's why the body holds on to the extra fluids. Number two, is it a myth that by doing frequent enemas, we can clear the microbiome in the gut and create an imbalance? I realize that after the enema, I feel tired, but don't understand why. Yep, that's what we want to do. We want to clear out the microbiome, sorry. Why? Because the microbiome gets built through because of certain obstructions, right? The heavier the obstructions, the more intense the microbiome, and then you start getting into parasites and so on. The body will create because it needs to. It needs help. That's why those things are there. When you are in a fasting state, more often than eating, you're going to have less microbiome happening because the body works on fields, not matter. When we, continuously eat, we're going to have more and more obstructions, and the body needs to deal with that stuff. So it uses all the help that nature provides, all the microbiome, all the bacteria, parasites. When there's really high obstructions, they're all there to help us. Nothing's negative about creation. Only what humans do is negative and goes towards imbalance. So we want to wash out everything. We don't want anything in the GI tract. We want to clear out and move out everything. And from years of eating, we build up layers of what people will call plaque, and that's interstitial. It's in every part of the body, in every cell. It's not just in the GI tract, but it starts from eating obstructive foods, having obstructive thoughts, and et cetera, et cetera. We also take it on from our ancestral lineage. Our mother, specifically when she is carrying us for 9 months, her diet will have a lot of impact on what's created in the matter state. And of course, the intent and the emotion of the parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We are all part of that lineage, and we will have that within us. So let me go back. There are questions. I realize that after the enema, I feel tired, but don't understand why. You're just stirring stuff up, and I don't know what kind of enemas you're doing, but we're just using basically water, the teas, or grape juice, baking soda, simple things, herbs. We don't recommend any stimulants like the coffee, which are being advocated out there. I used to do those years ago, and it's not something you want to be using. It just weakens and nervates the whole system. You have the portal vein in the colon from the liver, and that goes directly to the heart. So anything you put into the colon goes directly to the liver and to the heart. So there's people who use enemas to get high because it's a much faster delivery than ingesting it, and that's a big no-no for that stuff. But using it for implanting herbs, grasses are wonderful, very cooling, soothing, and healing. wheatgrass, barley grass, wild grass that you can go and pick if you're, in the spring, summertime when grasses are growing. So that's the feeling tired at the beginning when you start um, fasting and cleansing and eating cleaner, less obstructive foods. You're going to go through these things. This is all part of the detoxification process, true detoxification. And it goes in cycles, and just embrace it and keep going. The key is to what? Eat less obstructive foods. Because if we continue to eat obstructive foods, we're never going to get out of that cycle. It just keeps spinning around and around the same thing over and over and over again, and we keep getting more and more obstructive. So enemas are absolutely one of the main essential tools for master fasting, because master fasting is by far the most powerful detox cleansing lifestyle that I have come across in these 3+ decades. I haven't seen anything more powerful than that. Remember, it's a glorified dry fast, and that's the base of what master fasting is. And we work around and with that to support what the dry fasting does. The dry fasting helps move out, loosen up all obstructions at all levels, and then we want to wash out the physicality of those obstructions as quickly as we possibly can to get them out of the physical body, so we don't have to deal with their fields. Next question: eating vegan in the Northern Hemisphere can be challenging. Any suggestions? Yeah, we have lots of suggestions on the website. We've talked about this quite a bit. People, wanting to move into more of a fruitarian lifestyle. You're going to have far and few people actually living a fruitarian lifestyle because of the food available. What are we going to do when they cut off the food supplies? And you're not going to have fruit for long periods of time in the winters. What are you going to eat? These are very important things.
Well, they can do anything. Cutting the food supply is just one thing. They can come out and kill you. So I don't think I would worry about cutting the food supply. If they cut the food supply, expect a civil war for a long time. Then expect a civil war, I would say, in my opinion.
I'm just talking in general. I'm not talking about what they can do. So if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, in Toronto area, we have fruit from all over the world available all the time. And sometimes you can't get some ripe fruit. There are frozen sections, right? Frozen fruits. That's another option. And then there's also canned. With the canned, you got to watch because a lot of them are full of sugar. But what you can do yourself is you can go and pick your fruits and veggies in the summer, like berries and stuff, and you can freeze them yourself, or you can do your own canning, or you can make clean type jams. Type of a fruit smoothie kind of thing, or jam, whatever you want to call it, that you can preserve and you can have over the winter. Then you can also grow sprouts. Growing fruit indoors is kind of challenging unless you have like an earth ship or something which is capable of growing different fruit trees and stuff, but you'd be limited by the space and so on and so forth. So to grow fruit indoors, like maybe tomatoes, yeah, it can be done. These days, I think they have much improved LED lighting that you can use, which doesn't suck up so much electricity and stuff.
So he's asking about the vegan diet in general.
She.
or she believe preparing offerings about fats, carbs, meat during winter season. I think you mean like would be good to have to add fats to the vegan diet, which is mainly fruits and vegetables. You're talking here. Carbs, yeah, that fruits and vegetables are carbs, so that's in the fruits and vegetables. I don't think you can get much carbs outside the vegan diet. It's gonna be fats and protein. Um, can I see the question, please? Where's the question? Yeah. Um, yeah. So uh, meats are definitely more obstructive. Even vegan protein like legumes and grains as well. Grains are quite obstructive. So it's best to keep it light, is what we recommend. You know, it doesn't matter, like we all come from raw vegan diet, and that is very light, especially when you don't have much fat in it, when you avoid the fats. And we can thrive in winter. For people who have done 100% raw, I am sure the majority of them will tell you it was not a problem. The season was never a problem.
I've had many people complain they couldn't do it because they got cold all the time.
Yeah, they complain, but many people haven't done 100% raw vegan diet. They complain, they tried, but they didn't really do it for a long time. And many people will make all kinds of excuses if they don't. It's a mindset. It's just like fasting. It's a mindset. It's not hard. It's not really easy because you have to change your lifestyle. But it's a mindset. If you set your mind, I'm gonna eat raw because I feel amazing eating raw fruits and vegetables, and much less fat, like keeping it mainly carbs, then it's you can thrive on it. Really, I mean, it does feel the lightest, and the lighter you feel, the better, in my opinion. I mean, the better for the system, because the system doesn't have to overwork. Fats are heavy, meats are heavy. um, there is the paleo or um, um, what's it called, keto diet. And people, yeah, also feel good on that because mixing the carbs and the fat and the protein is not a good combo, which is the standard diet. So I can see why they do better on a keto diet, because they don't make all these mixtures, like the food combining is more um, like controlled that way. But ideally, what we suggest is definitely the lightest diet, which is fruits and vegetables, raw if you can. If you can, then you can have some cooked fruits and vegetables. You can, if you feel like you want if you feel like you want your cooked meals, you can, we also eat cooked. Um, you can make vegetable soups and stuff like that. You're saying fruits and veggies are not seasonal. Does it affect the body if we eat store-bought imported fruits and vegetables? Um, I would ideally, I would focus on what grows locally, right? If I really want to eat the best diet, it's gonna be what grows locally in terms of fruits and vegetables, right? And focus on that. I know it's challenging, especially we live here in Canada. It's cold, and we don't have fruits all year long, but we do have the apples all year long because they grow so many apples. Um, and another thing, yeah, you can do is fast more in winter because we don't have the fresh fruits. But you can buy frozen local berries, for example, and you can buy the apples all year long. So you can focus on these. Another thing when I did raw vegan diet, um, I didn't mind, especially when I did fasting, like with Master Fast, fasting days. I did not mind eating the same fruit whenever I ate, because like as long as it's seasonal and local. Why? Because I have breaks from food, from eating, and so you appreciate it. The more you fast, the more you appreciate food. If you eat all the time, if you eat the same fruit every day, you might get bored. or in the same meal every day, you might get bored. But if you take breaks, then you will always enjoy it, in my opinion. And also mono fruit meals. So when we eat, I eat one type, preferably, you know. So the raw fruits and vegetables you're saying are very cooling to the body. Honestly, if you speak to 100% raw vegan, that whole cooling thing, in my opinion, does not exist, really. I mean, ask the people who fast like us, okay? We will tell you that our bodies, when they are less obstructed, okay, they will allow us to adapt to the temperature, okay, whenever, any time of the year. So maybe, like let's say in winter, you don't feel extremely cold. That's when the body is like has gone through a lot of cleansing, okay. You might, you know, the first year you might go through lots of ups and downs. The body is changing a lot, and we are still changing, by the way, you know, like we're nowhere close to being perfect. But the body adapts much better to the weather. The more you fast and the more you clean your diet, you'll find that you can enjoy things much more, and the cool and heat are not really going to affect you much. And you will love being as de-obstructed as possible. There's, you know, without a doubt, you will feel the difference. When I break a fast and then, you know, fall off with the food, I start sweating. Winter or heat or summer, it doesn't matter. My body wants the food out. And so I can sweat it out. I'm not joking. If the body is shocked by that food, it will sweat it out. And it's just, yeah, you know, so this whole heat and cooling, that, you know, for me is like really misleading. Incorporate more fasting, more massive fasting into your lifestyle, and the liquid and the dry, and you will learn a lot about how the body functions. Um, would you recommend fasting more in winter? I would, because you don't have as many fruits, like fresh fruits and vegetables. But then what do we eat on eating days? Yeah. Um, and then another thing, you can start exploring how to grow your own food, like maybe greenhouses and stuff like that in winter. You can play around, you know, like it takes creativity, it takes a lot of learning. um, so we're all learning here about growing our own food. um, you know, not everybody does it, of course, not even in the summer. But I am definitely growing more and more since I moved here, which is a house. I used to be in an apartment. um, Never had a backyard in my life. So once I had the chance, I bought apple trees and berries and all kinds of berries. And, you know, in the summer we do tomatoes and squashes and cucumbers and stuff like that. If a person has candida or fungus or parasites, can sugar in Concord grape juice or other? So these questions are very basic questions, and they are answered in the frequently asked questions. We have a page on the website, and this the sugar question, because it came up so much in the past 6 years. We made a frequently asked question for that, so you can find it there. Yeah, the enemas, I think we did have one about over, you know, like is it, can you overdo enemas? um yeah, and the detox symptoms are clearly stated in the protocol as well. um yeah, so it's good to learn the protocol. It's a beautiful you know, and for like almost like a book, you know, put together of 31-year experience in detoxing and cleansing, and also thousands of people's experiences in the past 6 years, because it's been modified over the past 6 years. um, yeah. So the candida and the sugar, I'm talking about natural pasteurized cooked juice and or made from concentrate, no sugar added. Yeah, that's what we drink. I read labels and all of them have quite a lot of sugar from the food itself. Yeah, there is no sugar added usually on in grape juice because it's sweet. Um, so Gina, do you want to talk about the sugar?
Now, going back to the vegan thing, we don't, we support people who want to be vegan, but the diet is not where we put the importance on. It's the fasting is the lifestyle, not the diet.
But
So,
the diet is part of the lifestyle.
huh?
The diet is part of the lifestyle.
Yeah, but the diet is not what we focus on. The diet, we just want to keep it the least obstructive as possible, whatever season it is. And you know, if you look at the Masterfast food spiral, because there's no such thing as pyramids, no straight lines. Sorry, in the universes, or in nature, everything is spirals. Um, in the center is no thing, and that's where your soul can create anything the body needs through the fields. We don't need anything. So when we start putting more obstructions in the body, um, the body's going to rely on matter, on you eating to get its nutrition. And that's the challenge. That's the trap we've all been in. So if we can stay in a de-obstructive state, meaning um, at least 3-4 days a week of fasting, and on the rest of the days just a clean minimal eating, we don't have to worry too much about the diet part, right? You can also live on sprouts if you had to, just stock up on seeds. And I grew sprouts for over 15 years, and that was a big staple part of the green part of my diet. I didn't buy many greens. I mostly ate only sprouts, and in the summer I would have the greens from the garden, and the fruit. I can't grow too much fruit on this property, but the fruit would be the only thing I would buy. And if it's not available, like I said, frozen is an option. Yes, etc. Where are we here? So yeah, the cooling and heating. We don't look at foods in that category, or calories or all that. We look at are they obstructive, or how obstructive are they on the scale of obstructions. Versus candida fungus. Will sugar feed it? Yeah, of course. The sugar feeds everything, and so does everything else feed on. So does the pathogens will feed on anything else, because everything is based on carbon. We're in a carbon. We're carbon-based beings on this planet. Everything is based on carbon. There would be no life on this planet without carbon. So the sugar thing, there's a lot of fear about the sugar. But yeah, all these questions are pretty much answered. We just say live in Masterfast lifestyle. We should replace water with Concord juice on eating days. How much juice would you reckon? No, we're not looking to replace water. We're not looking to replace water at all. Hydration does not come from drinking water. Hydration comes from de-obstructing.
Yeah,
I said the sentence earlier. Only the body can feed, hydrate, purge, build, balance, and heal itself through soul from source. And how does it do that? Well, you have to de-obstruct it so it can start doing that. If we continuously eat, it's not going to be able to do that very efficiently because it's full of obstructions. So we're not looking to replace water. We don't need water to drink. We use water for what? For washing, internal, external, and for making our teas, and we're drinking very, very small amounts. I drink like 2 ounces of the tea twice a day. I'm not looking to get any hydration through drinking. The drinking comes from the body making hydration.
Yeah. So we're not drinking, replacing water with anything because we don't need water, and period. The Concord grape juice is just there to help us release obstructions.
Help wash.
Yeah, every part of the master fast protocol is there to help us release obstructions, and that's what we focus on. On eating days, yeah, you can drink Concord grape juice before eating, preferably, because you don't want it to ferment. You want it to be on an empty stomach, so it goes down and helps you wash. We recommend that on master fast hybrid or on eating days if you want, if you're not doing master fast hybrid. Can you go back, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss.
Okay, let's
these.
finish that question, then we come here. Yeah, so where are we? So yeah, so we have the master fast hybrid, and we do have a table in the protocol where you would see how we drink, how much we drink on the master fast hybrid days, or on just eating days, right? Just eating, even if it's not master fast hybrid, how much we drink. I think it's we said just 1 to 2 liters, I think, something like that.
Yeah, 1 to
But
2
go
liters
check.
on eating days.
Yeah, check the protocol.
On the MFS days, 2 to 3 liters. But let me go to the Facebook, otherwise I'm gonna miss some questions
Yeah,
here
that's cool.
because it just keeps scrolling. Heather, hello Heather. Yes, works great in cold climate and mason jars. You're talking about the
Is it fermented or something?
storing of fruit, yeah.
Mm.
What is your understanding of the nature of water on the planet? That is hold information source for creation manifestation. Absolutely, everything holds memory. Water is very, very powerful at holding memory. I don't know if it's still on the site. I made a write up on the memory of water. I think like a drop of water they tested that can hold was it 300 years of DVDs, different DVDs playing or something crazy, but I interpret it as it's infinite. There's no, they were also, scientists were playing with using water in computers for memory versus the crystals. And they were having great results with that. I was right into water very deeply. Water is a spirit as well. And, just think about in the city with millions of people recycling the same water over and over and over, that all the information that goes into that water, a lot of it's negative. And we're using that water. That's why I was so advocate of trying to clean up the water in my home. So when it comes into my home, I spiral it, and the spiraling, the implosion removes memory as well as magnets. Magnets is a simple way. So you can have all the water that comes out of this home is much better energetically, much, much, much better than when it comes in. And,
I wonder if air holds memory too. Must hold memory.
What?
Air.
I think everything.
But maybe less than water, because it's like this of a matter state, right?
Everything holds memory.
Yeah, it's like if people breathing together, I'm sure they exchange.
Dr. Emoto's work, because look at that beautiful, beautiful stuff he discovered about water and how it holds memory and so on and so forth. It's just pretty amazing.
Yeah, so you're talking about the sprouting in the jars, right? Yeah. Yeah, works great for the mason jars. Just talking about sprouts. You thought about.
Oh yes, works great in cold mason jars. Yeah, you can sprout in mason jars, or you can sprout in trays. I sprout it in trays mostly. There's some sprouts you do in jars.
Like the green ones.
If you want to do
the green ones in trays.
Like
sunflower seeds.
No, it's not in jars. No.
No, I'm talking about trees.
Yeah, yes, sunflowers and the pea sprouts. I was doing a lot of those, and the grasses. Then there's the yeah, those you can do in jars. Alfalfa, lentils, and
mung beans,
and different stuff like that. There's so many things you can sprout. let's go back to the other questions. Um,
When living a massive fast lifestyle, it's a level 2 or 3. One shall eat 4 days and fast 3 days in a row. Yeah, that's level 4. Or fasting days can be spread out randomly during the. You can spread them out, no problem. Which one is better? A better approach. Of course, for deeper cleansing, you want days in a row because you're not disturbing the detox. You're allowing it to go for longer. That's why longer master fasts are way deeper than shorter master fasts. With the results, you get deeper, detox, of course. Which one is better? I'll tell you which one's better. After 6 years on this lifestyle, on and off with fasting and eating, um, in my opinion, it's better to do whatever helps you be sustained, like consistent. Consistent is what I meant. Consistent on this lifestyle. Whatever helps you stay consistent is the best approach, in my opinion. If you do, like, let's say 40 days, which we don't recommend anymore, because when you break it, you're not gonna like the food. If you do long ones and then take a break, and then do another long one, then take a break, I feel you don't learn nearly as much about living the lifestyle as when you really do it every single day as a lifestyle, even on eating days. And very important is to really commit to the to the fasting schedule as well, the daily, the weekly, the monthly. So do what you can to stay also consistent with that, right? Because it will help you balance.
People used to ask, which juice is the best, the one you're going to use. People
In
go
terms
and
of
buy
the
these.
quality, no, that's like a quality question, right? Like,
yeah, but you want to get something half decent that does a good job. But if it's complicated to wash and everything, you're not going to use it. It's just the way it is, unless you're really hardcore, like like myself. I don't care, just get it done. Living level 2, 3. Would like people to move up to level 3 as quickly as possible. That's when you're going to start seeing much better results happen. Level 3 to 4, and the way I would recommend is, the best way is the way that's going to work for you. Some people, they want to fast one day, and eat one day, fast one day, eat one day, like some stuff like that, or fast 2 days, eat one day, fast another day. You can mix it all up. But the most effective way would be a wet day, or dry day, or wet day. That's the most effective day.
So
for 3 days in a row. And if you're going 4 days, I would do probably one day at least of washing, and the day of dry, and then 2 days of wet again. But you can mix it up and try different things and see how you feel, and make sure that it's going to be able to be something that you can sustain, because that's always the key. If it's an event, what are you going to get out of it? You're not going to get much. You're going to go back to your old ways, and you're going to go cuckoo. So the key is to be continuously and consistent in your fasting lifestyle. The eating, we're all experts. We don't need any more time to do that, right? How to deal with enormous.
There was a question before.
You say that all the problems have emotions at the root cause. I would say so. Could you expand on this, and how do emotions cause physical problems? And everything that we can see, feel, hear, touch comes through the fields. Intent and emotion. Everything that we everything that is within creation comes from the fields. it comes through thought, and then the intent and emotion bring it forth to manifest it. So it all comes through that, line of order. And without the intent and emotion and the thought behind it, it's not going to be created. They're like everything you see, everything you can see, a box, your telephone, your cup, yourself, me, the trees, the plants, the animals, it all came from the fields. Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Source.
The fields, the plasma, because that's the order of creation. So emotion is emotion, putting it in motion so it can manifest. And all the root cause is the physicality. The seed cause is the emotions. That's the way we look at it. So the root cause of the physicality would be your GI tract, because that's what we're plugging up physically through eating, and also the emotions come into play, because when we're eating, there's emotions happening, right? And depends what you're thinking about when you're eating and what you're eating and your environment, etc., etc.
When you're drinking, when you're breathing, when
environments dictate outcome.
Everything. Yeah. It's really, it's not. I find it quite challenging, of course, I'm sure it is for everyone, to to explain these things or understand them, right? Before we can explain them. It's I mean, and listen, we're all imperfect, okay? We might have an idea that we share, but the truth is, source knows best, so we go back to source for our troubles, our challenges. I believe this is something beyond you'll have to just go to open your heart to the source and ask for guidance, because I don't believe humans can help or can affect each other. Can you go back? Yeah, I don't I believe something like that is only you've got to get a source to help you, in my opinion. It is beyond, like, who, we can't open people's hearts. We can hardly open our hearts.
We can only inspire each other.
Well, yeah, we can only open our own hearts by our experiences, usually, especially when we go through so much pain. If you are the type of person who learns, I feel, you would open your heart to a source, and you will allow the learning experience. But some people are hurt and they don't care. Some people get hurt and they don't care, seriously, to learn from their challenges that they're going through. So yeah, there are different types of people. Some people will learn faster than others. But at the end of the day, I would say let's avoid being stubborn and allow our hearts to open when we have the opportunities, so we can grow spiritually and allow source to guide us, instead of being stubborn and arrogant and thinking that we can do it all on our own. There's a higher force that, in my opinion, we who are imperfect must respect and ask for guidance.
The more fasting you do, you'll have the understanding of how the emotions come to play, because they're all going to come to the surface, all the imbalances, and you're going to, that's where you're going to need to use the tools to help pull you through those situations. And the first line of defense is breath work with enemas, right? Colon washing. Also, essential oils will help tremendously, because the breath feeds the physicality, the emotions.
Yeah, yes, fasting definitely helps you open your heart because it really humbles, right? It helps us open our hearts and receive information, right? That's why it is part of every spiritual teaching, every um, yeah, every spiritual practice out there pretty much has fasting as part of the lifestyle of the practice. um, so yeah, it helps us open our hearts, especially when we go deeper and deeper into it. But
Heather's.
I have to say that when we start fasting, it doesn't necessarily make you an angel. We have seen it. I have seen amazing people who are fasting, and I have seen people who are offline. I am sorry, but some people are off balance, and maybe they haven't opened their hearts um, wide enough. So yeah, we see all kinds of things. I believe the most important thing, even more than fasting, is strong foundation, spiritual foundation. A strong spiritual foundation with like-minded people, like a community, physical. I would say more than virtual or online. um, yeah, I would say that's why groups of people, they can come and worship source, together, and remind each other of the good deeds, and to let go of bad deeds and stuff like that. This is very important. This is would be wonder it would be wonderful for us to learn all this as kids, growing up. Not It's harder for us to learn when we are grown up.
Heather, someone attacked my computer when you were talking about memory and water. Missed it. We record it. It's recorded. Matthew, have you heard the notion that the moon is made of plasma? Yeah, I read that a while ago. Everything is plasma. Everything is plasma. Even everything we see in the matter state, it comes from the plasma. It has a field strength. Everything has field strength of plasma. Otherwise, it would not be in creation. So let me go back to the other question here. Um, how do we deal with enormous cravings and hunger during fasting? You don't get enormous cravings and hunger during fasting when you're master fasting. Uh, when I fasted, it was so difficult because some days I could only think about various foods. Strangely, the ones I never eat normally, such as potatoes, pork, pasta, etc. It's all emotions. Is it part of the detox process? How to overcome it? Yes, all weaknesses come to the surface. These things are the obstructions that are within your physicality and are coming to the surface, and also the emotions. However, after fasting, when I tried to eat any of these foods, my body reacted very negatively, and I felt very nauseous. Is this hunger only some sort of mental concept rather than a real thing? Yeah, the weaknesses come to the surface, and the monkey mind starts playing with you. The Luciferic intellect, we call it. All that kind of nonsense will come through your mind and try to make you get to do things that are not in line with peace, balance, correct conduct, including eating all these obstructive foods, because they don't lead us to any place good when we do it over and over and over again. So, how do we deal with all that? We live a master fasting lifestyle. We don't invent it. We make fasting the lifestyle. We use all the support we possibly can when we're fasting, and lots of colon washing. Use the tools of um, essential oils, breath work, walking in nature, keeping yourself busy of things you love to do, jump in a lake, river, stream, ocean. Um, there's many ways, but the one of the best things for nourishing our emotion is doing what you love to do. And most people uh, feel better in nature. You know, I
Everybody.
think everybody does, but um, some people
Yeah.
that choose not to be in nature at all. And,
Yeah, I mean, most of us who live in the cities are not in nature, and that's our choice, but it's okay.
well, nature is
Sometimes you just have
anywhere.
to, you have to, it's a family thing. It's not just when, if you're on your own and you want to live in nature, it's much easier. But if you have a family and you want to live in nature, it's a little bit harder because you have to make a collective decision. Um, but yeah, just do your best. Never give up. Um, if you um, if you want to live in nature, do your best. If you can't, even when you're doing your best, then it's okay. Just make peace with it, um, and do your best this way. Yeah, yeah. Just enjoy life this way. Find your happiness that way.
Yeah, when people were doing the long master fast, the cravings went away pretty quick. The first few days were the toughest for most people, and as you start purging out all that, then the mind starts clearing up, and the cravings go away. So water fasting is
Yeah,
very, very hard on the body, on the physical, mental, and emotional body. Water itself is a very stressful substance to put through the body and for the kidneys to handle. In Italian, there's a saying, "Acqua va alle spalle," water goes to your back, and exactly, it goes to the kidneys, and that's where you feel it. So that was the old saying, because there was not much water drinking in the old days. Let's put it that way. It was all by propaganda and marketing, is why everybody's drinking water and believes that you're going to die without water for 3 days. Absolute nonsense. So
yeah. So I want to say my own experience, of course, and many people's experiences on master fast, long or shorter fast. Can go back to the questions. Um, yeah. So cravings and hunger go away pretty much completely, let's say after 3 months. Like even like the thought of it is not important. But if you, let's say, you cook for family and you make amazing least obstructive foods for your family, it can come to your head to experiment with eating again, so it's only when you start working with food, or when you anticipate breaking your fast, a long fast, and watching videos, food videos, and you look and like, you start creating recipes and stuff, right? That's when I get cravings. Not intense, but like it just it kind of wakes up something in me, that it looks forward to experiment, but not never hunger. It's not hunger for sure. It's not hunger. Hunger definitely, in my opinion, and cravings, they go away. I think after 3 months, for sure. After 3 months for me. But after a few weeks, it's much easier. After 1 month, it's even easier. 3 months, it's even like it just gets easier and easier and easier in terms of cravings. You're not gonna be hungry. You're not gonna crave unless you're thinking about breaking your fast. Um, if somebody around you, your partner or someone, is eating something that is, like a watermelon, or maybe if you're dry fasting, you might think of a watermelon, if it's a long dry fast, because you're looking for a juicy thing, but it's really not intense. The only time we are hungry is when we're eating. Trust me on that. The only time, and most people who have done long master fasts, or even the shorter ones, will tell you that yes, shorter ones, but as a lifestyle, right? They will say yes, the hunger only comes when especially when we eat obstructive food. The more obstructive the food, the more the addiction. Why? In my opinion, because it stays there inside us longer. The longer it stays in, the more your cravings. So it's easiest to eat the least obstructive foods, and that's fruits, and then vegetables if you want, especially in the raw form. When you start cooking, you start cheating when you start adding cooked food, because you're like, okay, well, I can try this and I can try it. And before you know it, you're eating like standard vegan diet. Even if it's low, it has zero fat, it's still like it can be, I don't know, chickpeas, which are obstructive, um, chickpea pasta. Um, I don't know, a bunch of stuff that, and when you start adding the fat, then good luck fasting. It makes it so much harder to get back into fasting because it's very obstructive at that time when we start adding the fats. So if you can keep it at least fat free on a cooked vegan diet, that would be much easier for you. And of course, protein free. Like, well, fat I would say is worse than using, let's say, chickpeas. Um, yeah, like oils and stuff with cooked food, with, let's say, making pasta with some oil and stuff like that. Yeah, as long as it's like you feel the oil in your food, that's a bad sign. It's best not to buy anything that is pre-cooked because it will always have fat, and fat does bring cravings. It just makes it much harder to get back into a fasting state, mm, or even a clean eating state. Like, you can ask raw vegans when they start eating cooked food, they don't want to go back to raw food. It's not easy. We all have done it. I've watched so many raw vegans in the past, and they would tell you, yep, it's way more addictive. And we make all kinds of excuses to go back to eating cooked food. Yeah. The only thing, yeah, that with cooked food, you start cheating with cooked food because it's so much easier because it's all around you. You go to a restaurant and it's so easy to order a vegan meal. Of course, it's full of fat. It's never light. It's never light. In fact, they put even more fat and more heavy stuff in the vegan food because it doesn't have the meats, to replace.
Salt and fat and sugar. These are the addictive things, and they're loaded with this stuff in restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, the sugar, we love fruits and vegetables. These are sugar, but that's
I'm
fine.
talking about processed sugar.
Yeah, and salt, I would say, is more innocent than fat. You can get rid of salt much faster than fat. Fat is more addictive than salt. So
Ocean water is much easier on the body than crystal salt. Much, much easier.
yeah, except with the ocean water, you have to put a lot of ocean water in your food, and that's not cheap.
Yeah, well, if you want to put a lot, it's up to you.
Yeah, but you're not gonna taste it if you put a spray or two. Yeah.
All right. If that's it, we call it a night. Anybody has any last questions?
Do you want to cover the memory in the water quickly again?
I did talk about it. All right. So let's elevate all souls on the planet in a higher order. Let's put the energy towards peace, balance, correct conduct at all costs. We as humanity are in a very difficult, challenging situation now. Spiritual warfare for our souls from these, I don't know what you want to call them, the cabal, Luciferians, whatever. They got many names. He's doesn't really matter. It's just an energy that moves in the opposite direction of peace, balance, correct conduct, and brings chaos into all things. And this is why we are where we are on this planet. So let's elevate all souls, especially the leaders of parasites. Yeah, that name is too good for them, Heather. Parasites have purpose. These creatures do not have purpose on this planet. Yeah, we used to name them parasites, but man, oh man, a parasite that does have a purpose. It's a creation of God. These people, they were creations of God given free will, and they chose
Lucifer.
uh, you know, opposite of higher order. It is what it is.
There's a purpose for everything, even Lucifer.
We all are here to learn a lesson, and everything is the way it's supposed to be, exactly, or it wouldn't be. So everything we're experiencing, it's there's a higher order purpose for it. Evil ones, definitely diabolic evil. Things that have been coming out to the surface, and more will be coming to the surface about what these evil people do is just, you can't even comprehend it. It's just crazy. So we'll get through this. We'll get through it.
Tonight was the new moon, by the way.
Hold on to your horses. New moon, great for new intentions. Set your intentions
9:15
for the month. And our intentions is to be the change, living in peace, balance, correct conduct. See the planet back in its beautiful, harmonious state. All the animals and people and the creatures in the ocean living in harmony. No more raping and pillaging the planet. People doing what they love to do, not being forced to do things they don't want, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Everything that is in line with peace, balance, correct conduct. And with that, we'll call it a night, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. We'll see you Wednesday, 3:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and see you back on the page. Ciao for now.
Bye, guys.